Thanks for staying with us. We've spent the last week here at the Kansas Beef Council with Kevin.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. They're going to kick me out here in a minute. So we're finishing up May. This is the last weekend of May, and we're going to finish out Beef Month here with Kevin Thielin. Thanks for staying with us. Last week we talked just about the face of what beef looks like here in the state of Kansas, or beef production looks like here in the state of Kansas. Family-owned, family-operated, stewards of the land. We're going to go a little bit deeper. So let's talk about something that is extremely important to consumers. You know it is, producers know it is, BQA.
Yep. So BQA, and producers probably remember that it got its start from basically kind of the injection sites, carcass bruising and things of that nature. And that's still a very big focal point, but what we have seen is the industry has made dramatic improvements, and those aren't, I'm going to use the word issues. Those really aren't issues for us this day and age. So the BQA program has really morphed into, animal handling, euthanasia, advice on antibiotics and all of those things. And so we've been very lucky because we have Dan Thompson, we have K-State that helps us with a lot of those BQA trainings. And we, at beginning of this year, January, February, and March, we did trainings all over the state of Kansas and ended up training about 700 producers. And so we've got a really strong base of producers here that go through that program. And for us then, if you flip that coin, we then share that with consumers that we reach out to. And that continuous improvement, or a farmer or rancher going through a program to be a better handler, that really resonates really well. And I think that's a powerful message, and BQA is going to continue to become more important, I think.
And I think one of the things that we forget about, or at least I forget about, I know you don't, is having BCI, 44 miles away, and the impact it has on the state, not only the state, but the U.S. just in general. But it's nice to have that in your backyard.
It is, yeah, yep.
So BQA, and some of you may understand what BQA is, and some of you may not know what BQA is, but it is basically gentle handling, maintaining your herd, in a humane way, I guess may be a good way to put it. Not that anybody would want to treat an animal poorly, but you get better results with the better you treat your animals, and I think most producers understand that. What is the takeaway that most of the producers get out of BQA?
I think when you go to those sessions and you just see that interaction, I think it's having that face-to-face time with a vet, the ability to answer questions of, hey, this is what we do, is it right? What would you recommend? Or honestly asking other producers. And so we typically hold these sessions at auction markets, and it's just a great environment to have, can just kind of have a discussion about animal handling and all the things that go with that.
Perfect. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the things going on here in the state of Kansas with the Kansas Beef Council. You watch the kansasAGreport, and we'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org. Kansas Beef. Celebrate beef all May during Beef Month. Kansas Wheat Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Thanks for staying with us. We're at the Kansas Beef Council, and we're joined by Kevin Thielin, the Executive Director, and we're finishing out, this is the last little bit of time we're going to spend together for May being Beef Month. And Kevin, it is a busy time of the year. People start dragging out their grills, so a lot of hamburgers being grilled, steaks and things like that. But getting out, touching consumers or talking to consumers, not only in person but on social media, is very important to you guys.
It is, and from a consumer standpoint, for us as producers, it's Beef Month. And there's history there. we really focus a lot on burger month or grilling, the start of grilling season, and that's what resonates with consumers. And we've seen tremendous growth in the last year on our social properties. I think a lot of the reason for that is we've hired a communications director, a guy by the name of Scott Stebner. And Scott has a master's in communications. In another life, he is a professional photographer, so that lends itself really well to a lot of the things we're doing. But we're really we have basically 3 areas that we focus on. One is the culinary, so teaching people how to cook. So we do a lot of recipes and disseminate information that way. Second is on nutrition, talking about nutrition, and we have a team beef, if you will, that goes out and runs, and basically it's a great way to promote the health benefits of beef. Scott promotes that. And then that third piece that we really talk about a lot is just production and how beef is raised. And so some of the things that we've seen some success in, Brian, is Scott did a short little 1.5-minute video on controlled burning. Of course, that's a big part of the Flint Hills here in Kansas, and we saw over 300,000 people that watched that video. So tremendous reach of that, and we see that in a lot of the things that we do. It's a great way to get in front of consumers.
Yeah, well, not only that, but not every consumer has the time to drive to the Flint Hills. Say you live in Wichita or somewhere. Of course, they burn down in that area also as well. But drive out and watch the burn. And first of all, it's beautiful if you've never seen a burn at night.
Yeah.
In the Flint Hills, it's gorgeous. But understanding the impact what that does to the grasslands here in the state of Kansas. Continue to grow social media, I would imagine, is extremely important to you.
Very important. That's a way for us to get in front of that young millennial consumer, which is our target. That's that person that's really starting out in their career, starting out with their family, so they're kind of
starting to get some discretionary dollars.
Getting some discretionary dollars, so
right.
a great opportunity for us to get in front of them. But what we know is that they are a little uncomfortable sometimes with cooking beef, and so that's something that we try to help them with. And kind of along those lines, we have a tour coming up that Charla Huseman, who's our director of marketing, does. It's a gate to plate tour, but it targets chefs. And if you think about typically trends that move over to general consumers start over there in that food service or culinary world. And so the first part of June, Charlotte's got a tour coming up that's a gate to plate tour, and just shows every aspect of the beef industry. And the cool thing that we've seen in years past, Brian, is we'll get all done with the tour and we'll be driving out of a feed yard in western Kansas, and they'll say, when are we going to see the animals that are confined? Mm-hmm. And Charla, has such a great personality, and she'll say, "Well, you just did."
Right.
But it's that misperception
right.
that we deal with as producers, and so it's a great opportunity for us.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Beef. Celebrate beef all May during Beef Month.
If you would like to advertise your business on Kansas Ag Report, give us a call, 785-580-3287.